SMT Nation, we back. Nation, I have been reading this article, kind of picking it apart. These were disclosures from the T-Mobile CEO a couple of weeks ago. And I want to take just maybe 2 or 3 items from it that I feel are interesting and will play out in a way, I think, throughout the rest of the year that should really point us in the direction of where T-Mobile is going in the future. So obviously they're going to definitely impact the consumer because it involves pricing and offers of service. So let's go through it, and I'll be sure to link the article in the description for you as a placeholder. You'll see the image on the screen. So link in the description for the article. Also in the description is the Real SMT Buy Me a Coffee link. Keep the SMT caffeinated, motivated. Support your creators. Buy me a coffee. Also, if you're looking for a good deal on wireless service, our wireless partner, Mint Mobile, can give it to you. Legendary customer care, plus all the great value in their plans. They just increased all the plan allotments, didn't even touch pricing. Really a tremendous offer. If you guys are looking for good wireless service at a great deal, you can get it from our partner, Mint Mobile, link in the description. All right, so the new thing for T-Mobile is their plans. They just added 2 new plans, the Go 5G and the Go 5G Plus, and those plans are slightly more expensive than the plans that they are technically replacing. Now, you can still get Magenta and Magenta MAX for now. All right, you can buy those plans online, but it really doesn't make sense because they don't give you the third line free anymore, right? They put the third free line onto the Go 5G and Go 5G Plus plans. Anyways, regardless of that, the goal is for T-Mobile to become a much more profitable company. Okay, so what does this look like? Well, if T-Mobile continues to add at a growth rate that is similar to the recent history, they're adding between 500,000, and we'll call it 800,000 net adds each quarter. Now, those customers are a majority of the time going to be Go 5G and Go 5G Plus customers. Therefore, that additional $5 to $10 per line is going to make a difference for T-Mobile. It's going to increase their cash flow. It's going to improve their ARPU and ARPA, right? Average revenue per user, average revenue per account. It really does help them. Now, the most important thing for T-Mobile, and I've said this before, is that they remain the price leader. They have to offer a better price than AT&T and Verizon. Okay, so it's not too hard for them to do it as long as they have the third line free and they include taxes and fees. All right, so as long as those things are there, they hit that mark. But this is an opportunity for T-Mobile to kind of like sort of whatever they call not raising prices on their existing customer base, but add value, with some extra hotspot data and other things. And T-Mobile is saying that customers are taking to these new plans. Now, that's the first thing I want to ask you guys, because you guys are the customers. Have you considered the new T-Mobile 5G Plus or Go 5G plan? Is it something that's on your periphery? Are you primarily looking at it as a switcher? Is that what you want? Because that's really going to be the most important thing. If T-Mobile is going to really get traction in these plans, customers have to take to it. Now, additionally, throughout the end of the year, you're going to see T-Mobile. We're going to be watching them to see if they indeed, hit their mark. Are they going to continue to grow as they have in the past? All the analysts are saying there's going to be a slowdown in mobile network net adds. We're seeing cable taking their share, right? They're killing it. They're adding, 900,000, 1.2 million customers every quarter. So that's an interesting one to watch. T-Mobile is guiding up their free cash flow. They're guiding up their service revenues. And then they're also guiding to continue to grow in fixed wireless access. So they added 523,000 5G home internet customers last quarter. Right, that brings the base over 3.2 million customers. If they were to repeat this and get another set of net adds around 500,000, that puts them near 4 million customers by the end of Q3, right? Q2, Q3, somewhere in there. All right, so getting to that 4 million mark puts them around 50 to 60% of their goal, ending up around 7 to 8 million. So that puts them in the heart of their growth expansion in that service. They continue to build out their N41, deepening the build across the country, putting it in more places. T-Mobile says that, they're going to start looking at 200 megahertz on their dedicated mid-band 5G, right, through N41. And now, of course, starting at the end of this year and next year, they can look to upgrade, for those frequencies in the 3 gigahertz where they have some DoD, the 3450, and they have some C-band, the 3700 in some places, so they can get back up there, add more capacity to sites. And this continues to be something that we monitor because, they're not really doing millimeter wave, and they're not really doing that many small cells. So it's something that they're going to just have to get on air pretty quick in some markets. But we see the bottom line for T-Mobile is the fact that they are guiding up. They are saying that they're going to be making more money. That's probably more important to the investor. That's probably more important to the shareholder. It's more important to their corporate goals post-merger. But I just wanted to make a couple of predictions. All right, so my first prediction is I think they will continue to say that people are taking to the Go 5G plans. I mean, the plans are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I think it kind of stinks that they took value away from the old Magenta plans in order to make these plans look better. I don't know what the upgrade rate is. How much of the existing consumer base customers have Magenta or T-Mobile One or Simple Choice? How many are upgrading to these new plans? That's the one thing I would love to ask the T-Mobile CEO, but they'll never answer that. They never do. So I think, they'll continue to push that narrative at the end of the year. I think they're going to still continue to average between 600 and 650,000 net adds each quarter. So kind of my prediction. I think the fixed wireless access continues to grow at a pace of about 500,000 net adds each quarter through the end of the year. That should probably put them well over the 4.5 million customer adds by the end of the year, right? Maybe closer to 5 million if things work out nicely, right? Because they are going to put that 5G UC in more places. But I think after this year, that's going to be the tougher part for T-Mobile to grow, right? So I think getting to that 5 million is easy, but now Verizon's in play, right? Because they're going to have their C-band national, right? They're going to get the rest of it cleared from satellite. And now AT&T is starting to get into places of DSL where they're shutting down DSL and copper, and they're going to let people use their internet air service, their fixed wireless access, to replace decommissioned DSL customers, right? So keeping them instead of letting them churn, letting them go to some other operator or Viasat or Starlink or, T-Mobile or Verizon. Okay, so I think once T-Mobile gets to that 5.5 million mark of fixed wireless access subs, we're going to start to see that slow down due to competition and due to the fact that more of the places that will be getting the service are less densely populated, and you just don't have that much switcher pool, right? You don't have that many customers out there. Although I do think they are going to get to their 7-8 million, I think that's obviously going to slow the pace. We're going to start to see probably 2024, 2025, the pace really slow. But I do think this year is going to continue to be a big growth year for them. I just don't know how big these Go 5G priced plans, how the popularity is going to be. I think it's going to be basically the same as we saw with Magenta. It's not going to be revolutionary for them, but it will help their bottom line. Free cash flow should improve. Their revenues will get better. And hopefully that means some better network spending. They don't have to decelerate the CapEx too much because they still have coverage deficiencies compared to the big two. And they still have, network excellence that they need to chase. Because in my opinion, when I look at the Ohio markets, for example, there are so many T-Mobile sites that lack backup power, and it makes T-Mobile a less desirable choice when power goes out. AT&T keeps cooking, backup batteries and generators, and so does Verizon, right? So they have things they need to improve. They're definitely not on par in overall network excellence across the entire country, and they could use that additional revenue to be better. All right, so we'll see what happens. We're tracking it. What do you guys think of my predictions? What do you think of the article? What do you think of the topics? Love to hear what you have to say on it. You all, the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.